Hi, I'm Anna with Unreal for Reals. If you want to create your own blendable materials for landscape painting, you first need to know how the materials you want to use are packed, meaning what the output from its textures are. And we'll have a look at the 2 free fab materials that I used in this custom blended material layers for painted landscapes tutorial. Be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Unreal Engine tutorials. So let's dive in. So let's have a look at the 2 free fab materials that I'm using. Open your content drawer and click the Fab tab. In the search field, we'll type in forest floor. Change the price to free and the license to personal. I'm using this one. Okay, let's click the back on our Fab tab and type in military trenches ground cover. And we're using this one. Now, be sure you get the Dirt Rough 02 because there are 2 of them. All right, let's close our Fab tab and see how these materials are constructed. So open the content folder, go down to Fab, Megascan Surfaces, and let's get the forest floor one first. Open it up and let's have a look at the textures. Now, the last letter gives you a clue as to what it is. B is for the base color. H is for height or displacement. N is for normal. And ORM has multiple parameters. Okay, let's look at its materials graph. So open materials and double click it. In the top left, click the drop down for hierarchy and the material. And this is its materials graph. Now what we're looking at here is the master output for it. And you can see all of those parameters plug into it. Let's zoom out by scrolling our mouse wheel down and then right click and drag to move it over. Let's zoom in. And here you can see the 4 main sections that represent the 4 textures of this material. And these are what give you a clue as to how it's packed. So first we have the base color texture. And you can see the RGB output goes to base color. And then for ORM, it's the metallic roughness texture. The R goes to ambient occlusion. The G goes to roughness. And the B goes to metallic. Let's pan. See the other 2. And here we have our normal texture. And the RGB output goes to normal. And then finally we have displacement. And the R goes to displacement. Now let's pan over to the left. And you can see that this material also supports tiling and offset. And you can see the settings for it are connected to the UV node. That node is input to all the other 4 sections. And it also supports specular, but you can see that it's an isolated output. Now, when you recreate this material in your new master material blend, you'll need to recreate these 2 sections from scratch. And it's easy to do. Okay, let's have a look at our rock material. Open the content drawer. Let's open its textures. And you can see they're labeled the same way as the others. We have B, H, N, and ORM. Now let's have a look at the material. I'm going to double click it and go to hierarchy and the material for its graph. And you can see that this one is packed exactly the same way as our ground cover. It even has the tiling and offset. Okay, now let's have a look at the master material that I created with these 2 so you can see how those look in there. At the top is our ground cover material. Let's zoom in and pan down so you can see it. Here we have our 4 textures, and they're connected to the Make Material Attributes node the same way that they were connected in the original materials output. And then to the left, we have 3 nodes to recreate the tiling, and they're all hooked into the UVs of the textures, just like they were in the original. And you can see that the master output goes into a landscape layer blend node. and then to a master output. So don't be scared of working in the material graph and creating your own blended materials. It's actually a lot easier than you think. And see my custom blended material layers for painted landscape tutorial for a step-by-step walkthrough on every connection of these materials, including how to change the tiling and base color, and how to remove that shiny glossy look. Plus you'll see tips on how to set the different blending options too. And be sure to subscribe to this channel for more Unreal Engine tutorials.